Good evening and welcome to the Real Cayman News broadcast, Monday, 21st of June, 2021. I'm John Fleming. I and the team here at Real Cayman News want to thank those who tuned in on Friday. We'll be implementing some changes to the broadcast to make it more visually appealing. If you have any other feedback, you can email me at john.fleming@realcaymannews.com. To advertise with us, you can email sales@realcaymannews.com. Our top stories for Monday, 21st of June. The Cayman Compass, in partnership with a local law firm, has released the highly anticipated CCTV video of Speaker of the House Makiva Bush assaulting the Coral Beach bar manager in February 2020. The footage has only been released now despite being filmed over a year and a half ago. This has many questioning the intentions of the Cayman Compass and if the incident has been muddled into local politics. Members of the public are pointing to the PPM for trying to politicize the incident. The PPM released a statement 24 hours after the video, denying any allegations that the PPM played any role in the decision that the Compass took to release the video. Leader of the opposition, Roy McTaggart, said it was important that everyone, particularly young people, understand the type of behavior displayed in the video is not acceptable and cannot be condoned. As a society, we have a lot of work to do to raise awareness of and eradicate violence and harassment towards women. Premier Wayne Panton is expected to release a statement later today. The Cayman Islands Red Cross, in partnership with the HSA, will once again join forces in coordinating free HIV testing. Real Cayman News journalist Johnny Lund has more.
Good afternoon, this is Real Cayman News journalist Johnny Lund. So the Health Services Authority, HSA, and Cayman Islands Red Cross will once again join forces in coordinating free HIV testing to mark HIV Testing Week, which will be observed in the Cayman Islands from June 21st to 25th. Although the COVID-19 pandemic may have set the world back in the fight against ending AIDS by 2030, the AIDS crisis taught us how to handle COVID-19, and many medical experts compared the two pandemics, said HIV and STI program coordinator Laura Elnisk. The COVID crisis could see an HIV resurgence. Therefore, we urge persons to come out and take advantage of the free and confidential HIV testing. The COVID-19 pandemic can also shape the future of HIV and AIDS response in the Caribbean and impact our move towards reaching the goal of ending HIV and AIDS by 2030. A recent United Nations AIDS report shows that countries with progressive laws and policies and strong and inclusive health systems have had the best outcomes against HIV. In those countries, people living with and infected by HIV are more likely to have access to effective HIV services, including HIV testing, pre-exposed prophylaxis, medicine to prevent HIV, harm reduction, multi-month supplies of HIV treatment, and consistent quality follow-ups and care. The Cayman Islands ensures to provide all of the above. The Cayman Islands join the rest of the world to focus attention on the importance of accelerating the response to HIV over the next 5 years to set the world on course to end the AIDS epidemic by 2030 as part of the Sustainable Development Goals. 4 decades after the first cases of AIDS were reported, it remains a major public health crisis, and only a few countries meet the 90-90-90 UNAIDS target for 2020. At the end of 2019, 77% of all people living with HIV in the Caribbean knew their status. 81% of diagnosed people were on treatment, and 80% of those on antiretroviral therapy were virally suppressed. A survey conducted by Pan-Caribbean Partnership Against HIV and AIDS in the Caribbean showed that during 2020, faculty and community-based HIV testing services reduced by 2/3, 69% in countries due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, HSA and the Cayman Islands Red Cross encourage the public to take advantage of the country's HIV and AIDS support services and book an appointment to get tested by contacting Laura Elnisk at laura.elnisk@hsa.ky or 224 244-2507 or Health Promotion Officer Teresa Prey at 244-2632. HIV Testing Week provides an opportunity to educate the public about prevention and protection against HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases, as well as free testing to know one's status. The testing procedure involves a quick and simple blood test. Persons who are seeking testing or counseling can indicate to the registration clerks that they would like to register for free HIV testing. Results will be available in 3 working days or less and will only be given to the patient.
In COVID-19 news, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports that 566 COVID-19 tests have been carried out since this was last reported on Friday, 18th of June. There was one positive result in a traveler. A traveler towards the end of their 15-day isolation has been admitted to the critical care unit at the Cayman Islands Hospital, suffering as symptoms attributed to the COVID disease. This person is in stable condition. To date, 88,000 vaccinations have been given total in the Cayman Islands. Of these, 47,061, 66%, have had at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and approximately 59% have completed the 2-dose. The vaccine supplies for clinics on Grand Cayman has been replenished. Vaccine clinics have resumed and are now offering both first and second dose. You can view the latest COVID vaccine schedule at the HSA's website. Recognize the various stakeholders for their part in the school's achievement. Good is the second highest performance rating that a school can achieve in an OES inspection. To be rated good for the second time is certainly an outstanding achievement. As such, I want to pay tribute to the students and staff of Lighthouse School and the Minister for Education and her team for their fantastic efforts that have resulted in this remarkable achievement. Well, David Roberts retires from Cayman Management Limited. He was the managing director. Our Real Cayman News journalist, Johnny Lund, has more.
Stepped down from his role as managing director effective 26th of May 2021. Long-servicing senior employees J.S.D. Hager has taken over as managing director, with David accepting the invitation to continue to serve on the board of directors as chairman and to provide ongoing consultancy services to the Cayman Management Group. David is the long-standing managing director of the Cayman Management Group of companies, joining the business in 1982, having gained senior experience with an international publicity quota group based in the UK or United Kingdom. He provided extensive experience in the establishment and operation of a variety of corporate structures, having maintained executive and non-executive directorships, including hedge funds, insurance, and reinsurance companies, investment companies, and international holding company structures. On behalf of the board and management team, I want to congratulate David on a well-earned retirement and for his invaluable contributions, leadership, and mentorship over his nearly 4-decade career at Cayman Management, says J.S. DeHager. Cayman Management's managing director, I am deeply appreciated that David will remain with Cayman Management in an advisory capacity as chairman of the board, and I wish him and his family all the best on his retirement. J.S.D. Hager is taking over the role of Managing Director of Cayman Management Ltd. and has overall responsibility for the diverse range of services provided by Cayman Management and its affiliated companies. J.S. joined the firm in 2007, having previously worked as an accounting and corporate governance professional in both general practices and industry in South Africa. J.S. new stewardship marks an exciting new chapter for the group of companies as he iterated his commitment to expanding existing business lines and client offerings to private and Institutional.
Now we'll give you the international news stories from Reuters. Reuters reporters will take over the broadcast from here.
Amazon and Apple are still the world's most valuable brands. That's according to a global ranking by Kantar. Amazon held the top spot with an estimated worth of $684 billion, followed by Apple at $612 billion and Google at $458 billion. Natalie Burdett is Chief Marketing Officer at Kantar.
So first of all, an incredible growth, 42%, and the total value of the top 100 equals to $7.1 trillion. To put this into context, it's like the equivalent of the combined GDP of France and Germany.
US names still hold the top positions and nearly 3/4 of the top 100 names. But Chinese brands are rapidly climbing the ranks and beat the top European names. China's biggest social media and video games company, Tencent, was the country's top brand. It was in 5th place on Kantar's list, while Alibaba was in 7th.
Another key highlight is Chinese brands that are really consolidating their ranking this year and are fast growing. Key example, as part of the top 10, you've got Alibaba and Tencent, and number 11, Mutai, which is a luxury alcohol Chinese brand, but the fastest growing alcohol brand.
Tesla was the fastest growing brand and became the most valuable among auto firms. The electric pioneer's value increased by 275% year on year to over $42 billion. The top European brand was France's Louis Vuitton in 21st place, followed by Germany's SAP Software Group in 26th place. The only British brand to make the list was Vodafone in 60th place.
Iranian President-elect Ibrahim Raisi on Monday said he backed talks between Iran and 6 world powers to revive a 2015 nuclear deal, but flatly rejected meeting U.S. President Joe Biden, even if Washington removed all sanctions. In his first news conference since he was elected on Friday, the hardline cleric urged Americans and Europeans to fulfill their commitments to the nuclear deal known as the JCPOA.
The Americans violated the JCPOA, and the Europeans did not fulfill their commitments. What I want to stress to the U.S. is that based on the nuclear deal, you are obligated to lift the sanctions, and you did not. Return and fulfill your commitments. To the Europeans, I say that they should definitely not remain pressured by American policies and should fulfill their commitments under the JCPOA.
Negotiations have been underway in Vienna since April to work out how Iran and the U.S. can both return to compliance with the nuclear pact, which Washington abandoned in 2018 under then-President Donald Trump, before reimposing sanctions on Iran. Iran has subsequently breached the deal's limits on enrichment of uranium, designed to minimize the risk of it developing nuclear weapons potential. Tehran has long denied having any such ambition. But when asked if he would meet U.S. President Joe Biden if sanctions were lifted, Raisi responded with a no. 60-year-old Raisi, a strident critic of the West, will take over from pragmatist Hassan Rouhani on August 3rd. Raisi said his foreign policy priority would be improving ties with Iran's Gulf Arab neighbors, while calling on Iran's regional rival Saudi Arabia to immediately halt its intervention in Yemen. Iranian and Western officials alike say Raisi's rise is unlikely to alter Iran's negotiating stance in talks to revive the nuclear deal. Iran's hardline supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has the final say on all major policy.
Well, that's all from us here at Real Cayman News and our partners at Reuters. We thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. We hope to see you on Wednesday night for our Wednesday night broadcast, which will be hosted again by me and journalist Johnny Lund. Thank you and have a good night.